Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. It is Brooke. If you're new here, I am a voice actor living in South Korea. So I'm actually running late, so I'm going to do a get ready with me. This is my makeup bag. I'm going to explain to you guys how I was able to come to Korea with literally no savings. I'm gonna try to summarize as much as I can. Okay, here's done. So I moved to South Korea in February 2020, and if you guys need a little bit of a refresher, that is also when COVID started, just about. So at the time, I was living in Florida. I'm from Florida, born and raised, and I didn't know what to do with my life, and I really wanted to have an adventure. So the time that I was wanting to move, I was about 20 when I realized that I didn't want to live in Florida anymore, and I didn't know where exactly to go or what to do with my life. I had been working full-time since I was 16. Yes, I was able to do that. Labor laws are very different in the South, and I was so used to going to school and then going to work and then repeating that same process. And then, once I graduated, I was thinking what am I going to do with my life? Fortunately, I was able to get a scholarship right after graduation. It wasn't anything because of the way that I was brought up, I was unable to plan to go to my dream college, which was Harvard. I really wanted to go to Harvard Business School. Due to some circumstances in my life, which I will make a different video about, I never actually planned that far ahead. I was able to get a scholarship to a local community college, and that's where I attended straight after high school graduation. I didn't take any breaks. I finished school in June and college started in August. So I had maybe 1 month to relax. But I wasn't really relaxing. I was working full time. I was working at Chick-fil-A. I was really scared I'd spend the rest of my life working at Chick-fil-A. My boss was cool and everything, just didn't want to work at that kind of job. I wanted to level up my life. So for some reason, I decided to quit and work as a receptionist at a resort in Destin. Maybe you guys know Destin, Florida, I don't know. But anyways, it's a 3-star family resort. They get tourists thinking it's some kind of fancy place and get really upset when it wasn't. I was 19 and I was living on my own. I had my own apartment on the beach, which is really rare. But I had to do a deposit. I did because I had no rental history, the rental manager let me live there if I paid 6 months in advance, so I did. Put me out $7K, but for the next 6 months I could live for free. And so I got this job at this resort, and I had such a bad time working there that I was totally put off customer service. Realized that money is going to run out soon. The 6-month period was finished and I was going to have to start paying rent again, and the rent had gone up from $865 a month to $1,200 a month. So I was still in college, by the way, and I needed a second job. One of my friends from college, I was telling her about my money troubles, and she said that she was working at this restaurant and she'll give me a good word into her boss. The boss really liked me, and so she hired me. So the boss is Korean, and she also has another restaurant. She and her husband own 2 restaurants, and I don't know what I'm doing. For the next couple of years, I worked for them. I was working myself to death because I was so depressed. I was thinking, you know what, if I'm gonna be depressed, I might as well work. I don't wanna lay at home. So I quit the hotel job, and for the next 2 years, I was working 6 days a week for 10 hours a day, but I asked for it, okay? So it's not my boss's fault or anything. I literally asked, please, I want to work. As I'm working, I'm also trying to save money. I wasn't exactly smart with it because, with money comes I want to buy some nice stuff. Working 6 days a week, 10 hours, 11 hours a day, it does something to your mental health. And so my mental health started to become extremely unstable. I was in a leadership position, but I'm just not the leadership type. I work really well on my own and I can work as part of a team. But when it comes to leading people, I can't do it. I'm not a leader. So I'm very much a follower. So unfortunately, because of my mental health, my boss let me go, and I was really sad about that. Around the time that she let me go was when I had decided to move to Korea. It was like a very much of a spur of the moment decision. At first I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll just go to Japan. Like, I like anime, I'm trained voice actor, so like, you know, let's see what Japan has. Learning Japanese was really hard for me at that time. So when I was talking to one of my friends who also worked with me at the restaurant, she said, well, I'm moving to Korea. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. So that's literally like all the thought that I put into it was just that. So I thought, you know what? Seoul's a big place. They've got like really good jewelry and skincare and healthcare. So maybe I can live well. So I thought, how can I go to Seoul? How can I live in Seoul? So I knew nothing about it. I only knew like some basic Korean words. I knew a little bit of Korean culture thanks to my boss. But other than that, I didn't know jack shit. I applied to be a student at Yonsei University to study Korean. I figured, hey, I'll just, you know, like work. I'll just like attend for 6 months and work and see like what I can do. I didn't realize that for 6 months, you're not allowed to work on a student visa. So, but I thought like, you know what, it's okay. I mean, I'll have money saved, right? So I realized after I got let go, I didn't have as much money saved as I thought. So that kind of made me panic a little bit. Of course, I got accepted into the school. It's not hard. Where's my concealer? So after I got let go, it was about, I had already bought my plane ticket to Seoul. So I was thinking, okay, what can I do to, you know, work a job, you know, and to save money? Because I didn't really know anything. The month that I had before coming to Korea, I just worked as an Uber driver and I made an extra $1,000 from that, but that got spent. That $1,000 was also going towards my school fees as well. So even though I was able to make money, it was quickly spent. I was able to survive at least. Like that money was very, very crucial. I was also worried about how I was going to work. Reasonably, I'm thinking, okay, how can I go to school and support myself in this foreign country? So I'm like, oh, well, I speak English. I can just tutor English. So I go on Seoul Craigslist. Guys, don't come after me. Craigslist Seoul is really safe here for the most part if you're smart. I found this recruiter on Craigslist Seoul and I told him that like I have an associate's degree, looking to have a job that can supplement my income, like and support me while, you know, I'm finishing my classes. And so he said, oh yeah, that's totally fine. You can teach English with an associate's degree. So I didn't know any better. I just believed him. So he set me up with an interview at this school and they loved me. I loved the school and I got hired right away. I had already bought the plane ticket, so they were already glad they didn't have to pay for it because, you know, the school has to pay for your plane ticket and your accommodation and that kind of stuff. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a godsend. I'm getting a free apartment. I'm getting like a way to sustain myself. Like this is great. In my life, if things are too good to be true, they usually are. After I arrive in Seoul, I meet the teachers, everything is all good. And then we get into more details about like, you know, my life and everything. And we realized something I didn't know, that I could not be teaching at a school with a D4 visa and like getting paid. We all started to like panic because the school needed a teacher, I needed a job and a house. I did not plan that far ahead. I was 22, okay? The decisions you make at 22 are not the same as you would make it like 27, which is my current age. I made a proposal. I said that, okay, I can do my bachelor's degree online. Give me 6 months and I can do it online. I'll get it all done. And don't pay me, just pay for my house. So for the next 6 months, I did my bachelor's degree online and I got it because I'm crazy. I got my bachelor's degree in business administration because I had a lot of extra credit coming over from my previous university studies. You know, it was pretty easy. I worked and then I did school. That's what I know. Still attended the classes at Yonsei. I learned a little bit of Korean from that, but honestly not that much. After I got my bachelor's degree, I did all of my paperwork and I switched over to an E2 visa. One of the loans that I had my first nose job I had in the States and it was botched, but I still had to pay for it anyways. And so I was late on one payment and I don't know what happened, but they decided to drain my entire savings into the loan. Literally lost like everything. After about a couple hours of panicking, I found this job called Cambly, and it's like an online teaching platform. This is not an ad, by the way, I'm just saying what I did. But that job is like really minimum wage type thing, and you get a lot of creeps. I was able to at least make American dollars, and then I got lucky and I got the, what is it, the COVID money. I got $1,400 and I was so happy. I lived off of that $1,400 until I got my E2 visa. All I did was I would go shopping at the grocery store and I would make chicken noodle soup and I would eat that for the next 2 days, and I would eat at my school because they provided free lunch, and I would just eat eggs in the morning. I didn't buy any clothes. I didn't buy anything. I was in my absolute broke girl era. At the same time, I'm also saving my money as much as I can, because I was also planning to get jaw surgery and another nose job. So not only was I trying to, live off $1,400 in 6 months, but I was also saving as much as I could. Working Cambly helped. I was able to like put aside an extra $300 a month for, the work I wanted to do. And then after I got my E2 visa, then I was really able to set aside a lot of money to get my other plastic surgeries. That's basically how I moved to Korea with less than $500. I don't recommend this path for everyone. I think that I was very, very, very lucky, very blessed. For me, shit. I didn't have a choice. I could not go back home. I did what I could in order to survive, and I survived. Knowing what I know now, I probably would have saved my money a lot better, a lot smarter. I would have planned to come to Korea sooner than I did. I should have gotten my bachelor's degree sooner. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And once I had an idea, I just went headfirst into it. That's just kind of who I am. I don't think I do. I had a lot of privilege in my life, but I also had a lot of struggles in my life. I've been on my own since I was 18. I had to learn a lot of things the hard way. My life turned out really good. I'm really grateful for the life that I have. The biggest takeaway is think really hard about what you want to do sooner. Like when you're like 14, 15 is when you need to start planning for your future. I definitely should have been a lot better. Hindsight's 2020. That is the story of how I came to Korea with less than $500. In my next video, I want to explain how to more easily move to Korea and not have to deal with the crap that I kind of brought upon myself. Stay tuned for the next video, and I will tell you guys how you should move to Korea in 2025. Thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye!